There we are.
All right.
We're back. One last hoorah since the
Oh,
Pirates
so
can't
you had
join
something
us.
else? You had something else set up for the Pirates tonight, then?
Yeah, I so in OBS what I did is I went in and I broke apart the scene collections. So that's why like in Ceox it was a completely different setup. All I did is I just switched over in between when I took down the stream for YouTube. I switched over the template, and then when I come back, the template's all set up and ready to go for Ceox. And then I had the same thing for Maverick IO.
And what'd you have for Maverick?
Um, just a simple black background with some a little bit different than what we had for Ceox, but more kind of like you said the Brady Bunch style.
Okay, all right.
So I was
Yeah.
set
So
up for the Pirates with the Discord, and what I had done is I tried to set up off to the side, and then allowed myself a floater box to cover up us in Discord.
yeah, this is fun. I mean, this definitely is fun. The way that I don't understand, like you also have a like we still
What?
are in, but you're in a little box too. Like the Reds just aren't quite matching up or something.
No, no. Well, the Reds. Yeah, don't worry about the Reds. That was so like this piece right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to leave it as like a stand, and but I've got to get the more I looked at it, the more I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna make it all the same red, and there's still like a little shadow in back of you and stuff. But yeah, I tried to make it look like my wall, and all I was doing is just trying to fill it in. So
Yeah, and I guess it sort of does look like the wall, but because it's not like it doesn't have, you know what it is? It's because it's not naturally lit.
yes,
Right?
yes,
It's that like if you were
yeah,
because like I can see on the left hand side like where the Udicci, that your mom made there, like there's a light
yep,
reflection, and on the right there's not, and this one in the
yep,
middle is just a color coming out, so
yep,
that's fine. It really doesn't
yep,
matter. I mean, ultimately the fact is, like we're trying to do just kind of have some fun thing here. We'll figure that out.
yep.
I mean, it looks cool. I do kind of like kind of what this thing, and maybe we could just use this other box here in the middle that has names. Like maybe that's where we can move down unencrypted, and we can start using that for like the agenda or something.
Yes. So there's the
Uh,
old one. That's what we had before.
right, right.
Yeah. So which I tried to I tried to use the wall a little bit, but because like you said, if you sit in a seat and you sit in like a chair like I am, it'll actually look like we're in the
Yeah,
same room.
more or less, and in
Yeah.
enough of a dorky way that it's like, okay, this is kind of silly
Yeah.
fun, and
Yeah.
I certainly have a couple chairs that I can use.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
then we
that'll
just
be
got to
that's
get the wider angle.
um.
And we could give each
Wider.
other a high five.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, that's fair enough. Like that's probably a piece that I could definitely work on or something.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure out where that goes to. But
Yeah.
anyways, I thought tonight was a good show again. It was awesome that
Yeah.
Phil came on, and
Oh, what a great conversation with Phil. Yeah, it's so good to hear what he's working on, especially the stuff with George Lopez, and now to hear he's going to be doing something with Carlos Santana. And good lord, I mean, the guy hobnobbing with all the people.
right, which is just kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm really liking Shine coming on and really
Yeah.
sharing a different perspective. Hold on, it looks like no.
Oh.
That was about. Or was that your phone?
No, it wasn't
just-
my phone. Well, I didn't buzz you. My phone's off
No?
to the
Okay.
side.
All right. Anyways, I do enjoy that she's coming on because I know that she's really kind of probably doing what a lot of people are beginning to do right now, and they're learning about cryptocurrencies and blockchains from financial people, and that's good. They should, but there's an important, and we keep trying to drive this home. It's the technology that is the long game, and it's
Right.
we kind of get that all made throughout history. There's always been this kind of shaking it loose, right? you hear about in the 1920s, all of these businesses that were fake and stock that was fake, and like, yeah, but then real stuff came out of it. And then you kind of, saw the same thing with the pink sheets in the 70s and 80s, and they were sketchy, but then good things came out of it. And that kind of led to, it's like you see these ever increasing markets that kind of grow out of things. So we're going to see a lot of kind of, maybe as much as, 80% of the projects that people are talking about today may be washed away, maybe not that much, maybe more. I tend to put that around 85%. I think there's a significant number of projects that aren't really going to be anything because they are built more on hype than substance. But
Well,
the
and
substantive
yeah.
aspect of what's going on in the world right now, and through this technology and what its implications are truly staggering and
Oh,
cannot be
sure.
ignored.
Well, when you look at the evolution of the internet and how many sites came and went overnight, and how many,
Right.
it was that constant ebb and flow of, and quite honestly, when you look back at ARPANET and when you really start to understand what it kind of evolved from, there was always that infiltration of the bad elements always in the internet, even very, very early on. So, it's not that technology isn't going to be, hit with the bad representatives that come in and try to utilize it for evil things. It's how do you protect against that, and how do you start to kind of to guide yourself a little bit more with technology in a way that you're not putting yourself at that risk.
Yeah. And, a lot of people don't want to be bothered with technology.
Right.
They feel like there's so many people who have, had mutual funds before, have 401k plans, have retirement plans. They're familiar with the stock market. Even the people who've never played with the stock market are like, okay, I get it. I heard it every night on the news. The Dow Jones did X, the NASDAQ composite, the S&P. Like, it was so commonplace that even if you weren't participating, you at least kind of understood that it was going on and you could participate relatively easy. And over time, over the past, let's say 20 years, that went from a accessible only through sort of super brokers and big companies to, accessible through smaller, local brokers. And then all of a sudden, online, and then all the online trading was like, okay, what do we need the brokers for? And everybody started teaching themselves. So having it come at it from this financial perspective is good because it's necessary to actually fund the production of this technology, this game-changing technology. But people really have to, again, keep in mind that all of this is about the technology first.
Right.
So play the game accordingly. If you're going to play it like a stock market game, just know that it's not even a stock, right? It's not an
Right.
equity. And in fact, we talk about it that at the heart of Bitcoin is the Satoshi, which is a commodity. And it's a commodity in such a way that you can't even look at it like corn per se. You can, it's fair to do that, but it's not truly even able to be traded or called a commodity, because as soon as that commodity becomes defined as an NFT, it then can become a currency or an object for sale. And what I mean by
Yep.
that is last night at the blockchain thing we were talking about, if you walked into a country store and you bought a picture off the wall that you really liked, you're going to give it together, you're going to give it, that bass thing from back in the day that would like, get out there saying, and you gave it as a gift. Everybody gave it as a gift. And there, I got this kind of Wally Bass or whatever his name was. And I bought that at a country store. I owned that and I paid sales tax on that. And right now, if I went online and I bought from a store an NFT of that Wally Bass, like I own a thing just like a Wally Bass as much as I own that other Wally Bass, because it could literally just be a picture that I put on my computer, and that's all the value that it has. So instead of being charged sales tax in that instance, though, they want to be looking at capital gains and all, as investments, and they're not wrong, but they're not right either. And there's a lot that has to be sort of reconciled through, the next couple of years, but it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think back to the time, again, keep going back to the evolution of the internet and, the value that they put on domains. And, you could
Right?
you could sell a domain for, you could buy a domain for $25 and then turn around and sell it for $15,000 just because you got thegreenlawn.com. And,
Yep.
it was ridiculous. And we're not talking about something that's so far different right now because it's all about data that's being stored in a digital way. We're talking about storage of information on a blockchain, which is nothing more than a bunch of computers that are networked together. It's slightly different than with what we have right now available to us with cloud solutions. So
It's a really, really good example when you think about the domain name. You're absolutely right. I mean, back in the day, for anybody who was paying attention, you're right. If I got cats.com or dogs.com, like somebody inevitably was going to buy that from me for a ridiculous amount of money.
yeah,
Right. And,
yep,
like we registered it for $10 or $15 and, you try to sell them. And there was a big market for domains. There still is.
yes,
There still is a big market for domain
they
names.
value them. They value them now. So, like,
Right.
if we actually go out to GoDaddy, they'll tell you what your domain is now worth today in today's marketplace, and it's not $25 like we bought it for originally. Ours is actually worth a lot more than that right now because of the traffic that we've generated and the consistency of the domain over 10 years, over 12 years. So,
And that's interesting too, right? If for people to kind of understand that idea, like, the way that the credit reporting agencies work, it's like the first year you report something is not as sound as the second year, but after 10 years, there's some credibility that's been established by simply the longevity of existence. And that's, so that's kind of what you're talking about just with the domains. And coming back, I like though the domain idea because it is very simple to start saying, like, realistically, if you look at a domain, all you did was bought a name in cyberspace. That's all you
yep,
did. You
yep,
bought land in cyberspace and you gave it, you bought the name. You bought the naming rights of
yes,
land that was yet to be developed in cyberspace. And then you could put whatever you wanted on that domain. So you put up a website or whatever that was. So now now that became your land, as we're seeing people buy in the metaverse right now is buying land. They're really just buying domains, right? I mean,
right,
it really
exactly.
start to do that, and all of the technology that happens under a domain could be basically an NFT,
Well,
right?
let's talk. Yeah, take it as simple as like what you just recently talked about, the $1 million homepage. When you talk about the $1 million homepage, they went out and they had 1 million pixel squares that he sold for $1 each. Okay, let's talk about what the true value of that one little pixel square on a screen on a website. What was the value of that? It wasn't worth $1. It's just like a Satoshi's not worth a nickel.
Right.
And that's
But
the whole. Yeah. Go ahead.
But suddenly you put a whatever you want at that pixel, happy birthday, dad,
Yes.
best wishes, grandma, like
video.
whatever's at that
Yep.
one pixel. I bought it for $1. It's now worth $2 because I valued it enough for the. Yeah, I do. I
Yes.
love the domain example. Awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we can call it a night. And
For those
so
that are coming out looking for the Pirates, the Peaceful Pirates project is not meeting tonight. So Chuck and I thought we would come back since we were kind of on a roll tonight and close out. So, anyways, just wanted to kind of give that heads up for Maverick IO, and we'll probably be back next week. I think I saw them text.
Yeah, they're going to be back next week, and
Next
it's
week,
kind of
yeah.
funny. Like, yeah, exactly. We've been sitting here talking, and never once did I say anything about the fact that they weren't actually meeting tonight. So,
Yeah.
thank you for catching that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
letting
and the
anybody
other
who-
thing too is, for those that aren't or those that aren't aware, we've been following. We're actually in communication with the Pirates off the stream, and they've been sharing this week about the excitement that Victorious Rebel, right, has been going through. What they have 40 earthquakes, or
Oh yeah, something going on out over the Oregon coast. Yeah,
yeah.
so there's excitement there, but also Jake also just picked up yet another role for another game. He's going to
Oh,
be
did he?
their
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's going to be like their English speaking promoter. So yeah, I was hoping to talk to him about that tonight, but
Well, that'll be fun. That we'll have a lot to talk about next week.
yeah, absolutely. All right, so
Absolutely.
let's not forget Ceox Holiday Chat, December 30th. I mean, the guest list is just getting huge. It's the who's who of what's what in the whatever's whatever world of NFTs and blockchain. And with that, we are out.
Uh-oh.